Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to do my top 10 list of my top 10 favorite Disney animated films. These are the ones that were theatrical from Walt Disney Animation Studios. They actually released Encanto this week, and I got to see it. I did a review for it, so you can check that out if you really want to. And I realized I haven't done a top 10 Disney animated list, so I thought it would be fun to do it now. I'm keeping it to top 10 because Encanto is the 60th animated film from Walt Disney Animation. And I thought 60 movies are too much to rank. So let me just do it at 10. I thought about 20 or 25, but I want to keep this short. So let's get right into it. Starting with number 10, I have Zootopia. Zootopia came out, what, 2011 or something like that? Either way, it was a great fun movie that I really enjoyed. I like seeing this world that they built in Zootopia, and I thought the two main characters, Nick Wilde and I forgot what the rabbit's name is, but they were good main characters to follow, and I like their interaction together. And see, like I said, seeing that world was really cool. So, and I'm looking forward to Zootopia Plus on Disney Plus. That should be a fun little show exploring more of that world. So, Zootopia is at number 10. Next up at number 9, I have Hercules. That's right, Hercules, 1997. This was a really cool one for me. I didn't see this one in the theaters. I think I saw Zootopia in the theaters. This one I didn't see, Hercules. But when I saw it eventually, when it came out on VHS, I guess at the time, yeah, I did really enjoy it a lot. I got suckered into that story. I'm like, because I was also a huge fan of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and Xena, Warrior Princess. So to me, oh, what's this take on Hercules all about? It was more comedy, very similar to the style of Aladdin in many ways. And yeah, Hercules was a lot of fun. Danny DeVito was great as the voice of Philoctetes, and James Woods, despite what political views he might have, James Woods is a great voice for Hades. So, really great movie. So, moving on to number 8 on my list, I have Mulan. Mulan, this was a tough one. I really like Mulan a lot. I could have put it a little bit more higher maybe, but I feel like some of the other ones on my list are just slightly better. Disney has a lot of great movies, so it was really hard to make my top 10. But yes, Mulan had to be up here, mostly because Eddie Murphy just steals the show as Mushu, and he's so great in it. Ming Na Wen, she's great as the voice of Mulan. Obviously, went on to play Agent May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's currently Fennec Shand in The Mandalorian, and is going to be returning this December as Fennec Shand in the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, this movie to me, I saw this one in the theaters, and I remember not really caring for going, and then when I went, I was like, wow, this is a good story, man. I really love this film and these characters that are in there. All of the supporting characters are really great. And I just realized maybe 2, 3 years ago that the actor, when Cobra Kai started, I just realized that the Emperor was played by the actor who plays Mr. Miyagi in the original Karate Kid film. So it's kind of interesting knowing that because yeah. So I just thought that was some interesting trivia. Moving on to number 7, I have Tarzan. Tarzan is my yes, number 7 favorite Disney animated film. And yeah, I just like the story of Tarzan, in especially done in this take of it. Tarzan, there used to be an old Tarzan TV show that I remember watching, but it wasn't connected to this. And but this is the Tarzan now I think of whenever thinking about the character and the story, and the characters in this movie I really enjoy as well. Rosie O'Donnell, I know, does the voice of Turk, and Wayne Knight does the voice of the elephant. I forgot what the elephant's name is right now. The villain was pretty good too. He stands out a little bit. I'm glad they included him in one of the Kingdom Hearts games. But yes, Tarzan himself is just a really cool character, I think, in this movie. And I like how they incorporated some surfboard elements when he's swinging down the trees and all that, or sliding down the trees. I remember watching a behind the scenes video where they talked a little bit about that, like he's a surfer or a skateboarder, kind of like the way they animated him. So yeah, you can see that in a lot of it. And the animation is gorgeous in this one too. So moving on to number 6, I have Moana. Moana is a more recent one, obviously, just like Zootopia. Yeah, this was a great movie, man, and I didn't know what to expect from this one, but knowing that The Rock was in it, I thought, okay, if The Rock is doing a voice, they must be doing something interesting with him, and he turns out to be this really great character, Maui, and the main character Moana is really good too. She's an inspiring character that can inspire a lot of young girls, and I thought the story that they set her on, this adventure with Maui, was really great. And I really do. This movie has Lin-Manuel Miranda, who currently did a recent Disney animated film, Encanto. Yeah, he did the music for this one as well. And You're Welcome is one of my favorite, definitely one of the favorite songs of Disney. There's a lot of great songs that Disney has made throughout their years. Maybe that's another top 10 list to do. But yes, You're Welcome was a great one. And just hearing The Rock sing, it's like, wow, man. Moving on to number 5, speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, Encanto is my number 5. I was like shocked when I was putting this list together, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, okay, I'll put it above some of these other ones. Maybe a little conflicted with Encanto and Moana, but Encanto really did have a beautiful story, and the animation, as usual, is great. And I really did enjoy a lot of the characters in this movie as well. So this family that we get to see, and the main character was really cool too. So yeah, it's a stunning film. If you guys have the chance this weekend to go and check it out, there's a lot of great movies: Ghostbusters Afterlife, Eternals, and now Encanto. There's great options out there, so go and check some of those out. Encanto, believe me, if you're a Disney animation fan or just an animation fan in general, Encanto will entertain you and maybe even make you cry a bit by the end. Moving on. My 4th favorite animated film from Walt Disney Animation Studios is WreckIt Ralph. WreckIt Ralph is so good, so much fun. As you can see, Ralph Breaks the Internet didn't make it because it was a little bit of a step down, but WreckIt Ralph, man, I love that first WreckIt Ralph movie. It tears me up every time, the ending, this relationship between Ralph and Penelope. So great, and the video game aspect is a lot of fun to watch with this movie, you know. So I love Wreck-It Ralph. If you're a video game fan, I think you'll enjoy a lot of the Easter eggs. And I'll leave it at that. Moving on to number 3 for me. Get ready. These are the top 3. Big Hero 6 is at number 3. I love Big Hero 6 so much. Not only because superheroes, you know, if you follow my channel for a long time now, you know that I love superheroes, whether it's Marvel, DC, or Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles, or, you know, even ones that are, I love superheroes. You know, there's something about that genre. Like Martin Scorsese, he hates me. He blocked me probably, tell his whole family to block me. This guy is the one that's ruining cinema. Well, hey, when movies are good, what can I say? They're good. And I love Big Hero 6. I remember crying in the theater during the part where Hero loses control of himself, and then when Baymax shows him the video of his brother, I broke down, and my brother had to turn to me and tell me, "David, you okay?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just, I was like uncontrollably crying during those moments, with a whole packed theater. And I can't wait for that Baymax series on Disney Plus. That looks like it's going to capture the same spirit, the same comedic uh, comedy that the Baymax has in the Big Hero 6. I would have even loved a Big Hero 6 series instead of just a Baymax series, but hey, I'll take what I can get. Baymax is a great character. All the characters in the movie were great. And yeah, so maybe, Disney should do more movies based off Marvel properties, which is what Big Hero 6 was based off. It's based off a Marvel comic manga series, I think. So yeah, number three. Okay. Number two, let's get on this. Aladdin. Aladdin is my second favorite animated film. I've noticed I've been putting Aladdin more at number two. Before I used to switch between my number one and number two. But yes, I love the story of Aladdin. I'm so glad the live action remake captured that spirit that the original Aladdin had, but they tightened some things here and there in the live action version. Of course, I'll take the animated version over the live action version, but I think that live action film was really nice and true to the original animated film, and yeah, Robin Williams is just amazing in this movie. He steals the show. And of course Will Smith can't top that. And I think he knows that too. So it's okay though. You can like them both for the same reasons, but also prefer one over the other. And Robin Williams, he was just a very talented actor, comedian. And so you can see everything he improvised. I think even the directors even admitted they let him improvise so much that they had so much material to work with in the movie. I'm so glad he came back for Aladdin and the King of Thieves because it was great hearing his voice again in that movie. And the rest of the cast is too. A lot of people, it's like The Dark Knight. People just talk about the Joker, but don't talk about the rest of the cast. And the rest of the cast was great. And it's just like this movie. I think Princess Jasmine is the best Disney princess. I think Aladdin is one of the best heroes. I think the supporting cast is all great. Jafar is like my favorite villain, right up there with another villain who we're going to get into. And it's not a coincidence, I think, that they're both very similar. There is something similar about the two villains that I'm about to talk about. Jafar, though, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Jafar because he's more maniacal, I guess. He can like lose into this maniacal laugh and stuff like that. Yeah, Jafar, and plus I love Iago as well. Gilbert Godfrey is the voice of that character. You can tell they let him improvise a lot. That's the advantage when you have comedians in your voice cast or in any cast for that matter. You can let them improvise and they'll come up with some things that are probably funnier than you had in the script. So yeah, I love Aladdin. Finally, moving on, is my number one favorite Disney animated film of all time. It is The Lion King. Yes, I love The Lion King. The Lion King probably has held the ranking for one of the best animated films of all time for a lot of people. It's not a coincidence that when that movie was re-released a couple years back, I think it was 2014, it went up against a Brad Pitt movie, and The Lion King came up at number one. There's a reason, because that movie holds such cherished memories for a lot of people, my generation, and now younger too, the younger audiences. I don't think it's a coincidence that the live action Lion King made as much money as it did, made the most money out of all these live action remakes, because people really do like that story. I enjoy the live action remake, but it is an exact copy of the animated movie. It doesn't change much or add anything new to the animated movie that's already been there. It just makes it a little bit longer. That's why I definitely take the animated Lion King over the live action one any day of the week. If you're gonna just you might as well just take the original voices and just do new animation. That's what you should have really done. But okay, fine. The live action remake has grown on me, but I still prefer the animated version. There's things that they did better that the new one didn't do. Specifically, the voice of Scar. I think Chiwetel Ejiofor is great as the voice of Scar in the live action one, but Jeremy Irons is fantastic as the voice of Scar. He sounds menacing. He sounds evil. You know he's plotting. You know he hates his brother for whatever his reasons are. But he's so great at it. And James Earl Jones, great as Mufasa. I'm glad that's a voice they brought back. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, people might forget from Home Improvement at the time, was as young Simba, and Matthew Broderick as the voice of adult Simba. You got Nathan Lane as the voice of Timon, and Pumbaa was great in the movie as well. The hyenas. I sometimes forget that Whoopi Goldberg was Shenzi in the original Lion King movie. And it's a great film, man. And when you see Mufasa coming to Simba after Simba is like doubting himself, it's such a great moment. And they took out one of the best moments from the animated film. They took it out of the live action film after Simba sees his father. Him and Rafiki have a little talk, and Simba or Rafiki hits Simba on the head, and Simba goes, "What's that for? What was that for?" And Rafiki goes, "It doesn't matter. It's in the past." And Simba learns his whole thing. I forgot how the whole situation was set, but it was definitely a line that should have been in the live action version, a whole scene that should have been there, and they didn't. And that's why the original Lion King, the animated one, will always be the best, because they understood what that story, what that lesson that Simba needed to realize was all about. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 10 Walt Disney animated films. Comment below and tell me your top 10 lists. If you have a lot more classics, I know I didn't have no classics. If I had done a top 20, I think we would have seen a little bit more of the classic stuff pop in there too. I know 101 Dalmatians and Peter Pan would have for sure been in my top 20. But because I decided to make this top 10, this was mostly the 90s and onward type of Disney animated movies. I think the classic ones, a lot of them are really outdated. They're still enjoyable, especially if you have nostalgia for them. But for me, I can take off the nostalgia glasses and say, no, I prefer a lot of the newer ones a lot more. But that's just me. So comment below and let me know your lists. I'm always looking forward to seeing what other people have on their lists, how different it is from mine. And with that being said, until next time, everybody, take care.